Hey all, Kate here from the Minecart, and welcome to a new type of video. These are the after arc videos, where they're basically just videos of where I explain what happened during the arc in question, and because this is of my first one, obviously there's not that much for me to explain, or at least complicated things for me to explain, because obviously, again, this is literally my YouTube channel's first arc. And of course I wouldn't go big for it because obviously I don't really have the money to do that. Even if I did spend somewhere around $100 on these 4 plushies. Yes, I am dead serious. Hey, it's not my fault that YouTube likes to charge a good amount of money for their things, but besides that, so yeah, this is mostly me talking about the Plush Kate arc, also known as my first ever arc for this YouTube channel. Now, because of how long it took for the Monty Plush to come, I actually thought I would end this arc in like very early 2023, but thankfully the Plush was able to arrive, and obviously, you know, depending on when this video comes out, this video has also came out way before, or not way before, but before the beginning of 2023, which, oh god, feels weird how 2023 is just 3 days away. Oh my god. But yeah, a lot has happened this year, and also, before I continue on, at somewhere in the beginning of 2023, I will have a year recap video, because like something I do every year, or something I've started, is like I have a Google Docs that's like a review of the year of all the good, the bad, and the mid. And I didn't really do a good job capturing everything that happened in months, which is why I'm going to have to try and do better next year, which is almost here. But hey, I did get a good amount of days for a video. So yeah. Anyways, let's get back on topic. So first we are going to talk about the story, and then we are going to talk about the individual episodes. Alright? Alright. Okay. Let's go. Okay, so before we continue on, I will like to say I will be referring to myself as a character, because technically in the lore of T3M Productions, I am a character in this series, but also a creator as well. It's complicated, but I'm not the only YouTuber to do this. But anyways, let's get into the video. The story starts off with Mr. Clickbait trying to find his friend Kate, only for Kate to come out of the covers and reveal that she has been turned into a Funland Foxy plushie in her sleep. On the one hand, she's happy she's a Funland Foxy now, but on the other hand, she is upset that she is a plushie now and can't really do that much. And as they talk, a mysterious stranger comes out of Kate's closet, this stranger being Captain Virgino. Mr. Clickbait seems to know this guy, but he's not so sure of it. It's also revealed that Captain Virgino and the Communist Shovel happen to be friends, as it's shown by Communist Shovel being with Captain Virgino. Captain Virgino and Mr. Clickbait have a short little dialogue, and then Captain Virgino gives him a package. Mr. Clickbait is confused, and he looks back up to see that Captain Virgino is gone, and he left the Communist Shovel behind. The Communist Shovel asks if he could stay for the video, and Mr. Clickbait and Kate say yes, and they do a review. After the review, the Communist Shovel points out that Captain Virgino, his friend, left this blue chest that was made of lapis. Kate and Mr. Clickbait seem to be confused by it, but don't really bother asking. After this video, Kate requests that Mr. Clickbait and the Communist Shovel take over her channel until she turns back. The two are slightly surprised by this because they didn't think she'd actually ask them that. But because the Communist Shovel was taller than her, and Mr. Clickbait was the only one who had actual limbs and hands and opposable thumbs, that means he could be the main one running the channel. So the two decide to make a storytime video, because on the YouTube channel, the only one who made storytime videos was Kate herself. So Mr. Clickbait and Communist Shovel make their own storytime video. Communist Shovel goes first, where he says a random story and also happens to say / drop the information that he is trans. And Mr. Clickbait talks about the college he went to learn how to clickbait people. After the storytime video, Mr. Clickbait and Kate decide to open up the Lapis chest. Kate tries first, but obviously she is a plushie, so she cannot do this. But then Mr. Clickbait tries, and he seems to be somewhat successful. Only for the chest to wake up and start screaming in Japanese of why they are trying to open him. Obviously this startles Mr. Clickbait, but frightens Kate. And Kate is obviously frightened because despite the fact doesn't really make sense how she's frightened considering she's friends with a talking Russian shovel, but you know, sometimes we all see things that we might not think is weird but then discover is weird. But thankfully, after talking with the chest is friendly and is willing to help them. So yeah, yippee. Oh, and this chest being the fantastical Lapis chest. The Lapis part being obvious because he is made out of lapis. The next video they do is another review, and also to quickly mention, the first review was of the U2's Foxy. So this review was of the U2's Glamrock Freddy and Roxanne Wolf plushie. It was just a normal review minus all the horny jokes, which I will explain why those were made later. And yeah, it was basically just a normal review. And finally, after waiting and thinking it would never happen, the Monty plush finally arrived. Yippee! So, after doing the review, Kate and Mr. Clickbait didn't know what to do because Kate didn't immediately turn back. But suddenly, the 4 plushies she got up and leaned on her. Kate was confused and Mr. Clickbait didn't know what to do. But then, the camera started shaking, the ground started shaking, things went crazy, and then boom! Kate turned back to normal. Thankfully. And obviously, the Lapis chest was surprised by this because he was not expecting that Kate was human. At all. And, also, we get to see Shiz and Shank for the first time. Okay, not really for the first time, but, you know, you get to see them. And everyone is happy, but then the Communist Shovel asks a question. This question being how Kate was able to afford the 4 plushies. And Kate seems hesitant. But then, in a flashback, we get to meet a new character. Which I actually will go after the story part. So after doing some possibly illegal thing in certain planets, Kate gives a murdered wallet to a mysterious person, which seems to be the reason why Kate was able to get the 4 plushies. And after that, she makes a joke, and boom, video ends, arc is over. Now, time to explain the characters and other things. Okay, so before I do explain the characters, I will explain one thing that isn't related to the characters. You're probably curious, Kate, why was there so many horny jokes and horny stuff mentioned in these videos? Well, 2 reasons actually. Reason 1, I'm immature. And reason 2 being I wanted to make it a reference to how horny U2's is on Twitter. Especially when any of their tweets involve Vanny. Because seriously, if you know, then you know. Now we get to the characters. Obviously, the first one I want to talk about is the newest one that I actually mentioned in my last video, which their name is Capitalist spelled backwards. And I say it like that because I don't know how to say that word backwards and I don't want to try. So yeah. So they are basically a demon that is the physical embodiment of capitalism. And obviously they also wear a gold mask to kind of show that. And what do they look like underneath the mask? Well, you're just going to have to wait because, well, it's definitely not because I don't have money to make something terrifying. No, what do you mean? No, what are you talking about? No, no, no. Yeah, it's that reason. But yeah, you'll see more of him eventually. So yeah, now let's talk about the main character who isn't Kate. Technically she is, but the actual main character is Mr. Clickbait, who was created somewhere around when Fortnite Season 10 was a thing. Yeah, remember Fortnite Season 10? The one that gave mechs? Yeah, that was somewhere around the time when Mr. Clickbait was created. And I didn't really do that much with him, and honestly, I never thought I would use him for like lore things and stuff, and I never knew I would flesh out his character. Only to find out that later on I would flesh out his character. Because, you know, I like doing character development. So yeah, Mr. Clickbait is a representation of like clickbait YouTubers, but he tries to do clickbait right without like being scummy or horrible or something. But yeah, and also he seems to have a somewhat mysterious past, and he also did mention that yes, he did go to a college to learn how to clickbait. How is that possible? Well, this is T3M Productions lore. There are literally characters that are talking shovels and many other things. And speaking of talking shovels, Communist Shovel, who is actually a somewhat new character. He's only existed since early October, so he is still somewhat new. But yeah, as I was saying, the Communist Shovel is a trans male shovel from Russia. And just that sentence alone sounds really weird out of context now that I think about it. But obviously he wasn't born a shovel. He originally was a human being who was friends with Captain Virgino. But at some point he died and was brought back to life as a shovel. And speaking of Captain Virgino, he is a character I had planned for a very, very long while, but not that much is known about him. The only thing I will share is that he is 20 centuries old, so yeah, he is a very old man, despite the fact he doesn't look old, so yeah. And then another character being the fantastical Lapis Chest. Now, I just wanted to add more ridiculousness with this character, so what screams ridiculous than a Lapis chest that speaks Japanese, which for any anime fans, yes, those are voice clips of Dio. The only reason I'm using them is because like I was thinking, okay, what's an anime voice that sounds awesome? And then my brain thinks of Dio and it's like perfection. So yeah, I just use like random Dio voice lines. And obviously I think I might change that. Maybe one day I might try to get an actual Japanese voice actor. Like my goal, like part of me wants to get like the actor for Gokai Red or something. Would that be stupid? Yes. But would that be awesome? Yes. But also part of me wants to get like Dio's Japanese actor because that would just make it even funnier. Especially if the actor later finds out that I used Dio voice clips for the voice of the character. And then we get to two characters, actually, that technically count as one. That being Shiz and Shank. Now, just like with the Communist Shovel, they are still new characters and have mostly been on my TikTok, only coming onto my YouTube channel recently. Now, if you couldn't tell from the last video of this arc, you would tell that they like each other. And no, Shiz is not a female. He is a male. So yes, that is right. Shiz and Shank are both gay. They're both homosexuals. They love each other. Oh man. So yeah, and like I mentioned, they mostly came from my TikTok, and they actually never had voices, and part of me originally wanted to use like clips from like sound bites from random songs as their voices, because that would like kind of show that, oh hey, they're from TikTok, so they lip sync to songs and stuff. But obviously, considering how sensitive some record labels are, I just didn't want to risk it. So I just thought, you know what, I would give them original voices. So for Shiz, I did like this kind of like Bernie voice, and for Shank, I just did a deep voice because usually, I don't know why, usually when I think of shark characters, I just think of like deep voices. So yeah, they both have deep voices. And yeah, those were all of the characters that were shown off or appeared in this arc. And yes, they will appear in other videos. In fact, I actually do have something planned with Shiz and Shank as well. And I also have a project planned with the Communist Shovel and Captain Virgino. Yeah, there's a bunch of plans. So, yeah, just be prepared to see them in the future again. So yeah, that was the first ever arc of T3 Productions. And yeah, I really hope all of you liked this arc. For anyone who watched the arc, I really hope all of you liked it because I did try and put effort into this. Like, I wanted to make this the best it could be. But you know, if it wasn't good, hey, at least I tried. At least I tried. So yeah, anyways, that was it for this video. Make sure you all subscribe and like for more, and I'll see you all later. Peace out, home guards, and goodbye!